Welcome to The Dead Life. Here's world-renowned medium, Alison Dubois.
I'm Alison Dubois. Today on The Dead Life, I'm answering questions from my listeners who don't know how to fully connect with deceased loved ones. We're entering a new year, so let's talk about manifesting what we need in our lives. The power to change our lives is within us all. It's time to unleash our inner light and draw in the life we want. My husband, Joe, will be in-house helping to answer your questions and adding his unique point of view. You can follow me on Instagram at Medium Allison, on my Facebook fan page, and on my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Grab a bottle of my vodka, Divination 22, to set your intentions for New Year's Eve. It's available at One Handsome Bastard in Old Town Scottsdale, or you can order it at bigthirst.com or divination22.com. I'm coming to Australia in 2026 for my Cold Case tour. You can get your tickets at AlisonDubois.com. They're mostly sold out, so hurry and get your tickets if you plan on coming to see me. Well, Joe, welcome back.
Thank you. Happy New Year almost.
Yeah, I know. 2025. That was like riding a rabid bucking bronco.
Yeah, while your hair's on fire.
Yeah, like for real. It's
been a year.
You know, 9 years are always tough. I mean, we've looked back. 2007 was a 9-year, 2016 a 9-year. And when things end, they end abruptly. And a lot of people online are still in shock over the amount of deaths. Like every day, there's another one with a celebrity or somebody
right. And
public.
We know that even though it's the end of the year and there's still one more day left, 2 more days.
Yeah.
That's enough. So It's not over until it's over.
Yeah. And then there's a little stardust going into the new year where you'll still see a few more that tend to go. So 2025 for us, year in review. Life ended by not having a baby in the family. We got one when Delilah was born. And so she's been a joy. She's so much fun. So good things can come out of a 9-year. It doesn't all have to be bad. It ended our daughter not being a mother. So endings can end things like that.
Right.
It can end you being single, where you meet the person that you want to be with.
Right.
It can end addictions, ends jobs that no longer serves you, and bad relationships. So a 9-year just cleans house. It's
It can be good. It can be, difficult either way.
It's like sending in the cleaner in those movies where they have to clean up the mess and it gets a little ugly.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So we're leaving the year of the snake, shedding our skin of our past and entering the fire horse year. As a lot of people point out on Instagram, I don't think it goes in until February, but I think we felt most of the effects of the shedding, hopefully.
You know, it's kind of on track with us because we will have a new studio when the fire horse arrives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never move into an industrial unit when you have a podcast studio. In our defense, there was no industrial business next to us at the time.
Right.
So.
Yeah, a little noisy, but that's okay. We got through it. But yeah, that's an ending where, in this studio, and then the new beginning will be a new studio, which will be great. It's not a bad thing. It'll actually even be better.
Right. And the housing is really going to start moving in 2026. So you're going to see that turn occur. Kind of the information I was trying to drag out of Tom on the last podcast, like those details that are pertinent that I just really wanted to hear, but I already know is going to happen. So I'm just here telling you, people. People are going to wake up to what houses are actually worth as opposed to what they think they're worth in their 2020 minds. And you're going to see the prices start to fall. So don't lose faith. All will be revealed. All will be good and rolled out in your life. And it's a brand spanking new beginning for all of us in 2026. I'm very much looking forward to going into the next year, although I did have my popcorn and my glasses on for 2025, up close and personal. And I did enjoy some of the reveals that were coming out in 2025. So those will continue to happen in 2026.
I hope people, we have some traditions for the new year. And I hope some people maybe start their own new traditions and don't feel like they are obliged to do the old traditions.
You know, the New Year's Eve parties are good in theory. And when you watch them played out in movies where there's not a crowd actually, or everybody seems cool and in control, but that's not really what it's like. I mean, let's be honest. New Year's Eve parties are usually standing around with a lot of people that maybe you don't know or you don't want to know. It's just uncomfortable. And it's just, you're waiting until midnight. You got to hold on till midnight because of the tradition. And I'm not a big fan of New Year's Eve parties myself.
I was just thinking about it. That part of our tradition is we stay in and we watch movies, and we'll watch When Harry Met Sally, and then we'll watch New Year's Eve. And in both of those, it's the tragic builds the traffic builds the tension of either Billy Crystal trying to get to Meg Ryan, he's can't find a cab, or and I don't know the actor's name.
Ashton Kutcher.
No, in New Year's Eve when he's looking for her, but the restaurant's been knocked down.
He was married to Fergie. I know who you're talking about.
So, in both cases,
Josh Duhamel. That's not right. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Josh. So, in both cases, it's the traffic, the difficulty getting through the city. It builds the tension, which is great for a script in a movie, but for your real life, no, it sucks.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it does. So it's nice to sit at home with a couple of steaks and some champagne and a fireplace going and just enjoy our own space. I'm so glad I married a guy with Aquarius in his chart because he completely gets me. It's okay to not be social on those nights when you just want to talk about what you learned in 2025 and really not in... People talk about setting, your intentions for the new year or your resolutions. But I always find it interesting. Think big picture. Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to look younger. Let us know when you figure that one out. And, I'm going to spend less. And, they set some good goals for themselves. But when it comes to the dead, they tend to set more of life resolutions of, hey, people in your life, make sure you do this, before you die.
Right. Bucket list kind of stuff, but even bigger, like emotional bucket list.
I think shooting bigger is always the way to go. What do you want long term? Not just for the next year, but long term. What do you want life to look like to you? Are you going to swallow your pride and call your brother that you haven't talked to over some stupid fight that you had that you can't even remember what it was? So, look big term, people. Those in our lives don't live forever. And some people have to be cut out because they're toxic. And I get that. But then there's other people where I just think ego gets in the way and now we're just being a big baby. So in those situations, reach out, send little gifts, let them know they matter to you and see if you can repair that relationship or, in a bigger picture, things that you want your children to know about you. Set up a video camera or your phone on a tripod and sit and talk to them in the future, things you'd want to say to them or like with our granddaughter, being born, Christmas was coming around and I thought, I wish we'd known more when our kids were small. So for Christmas, we bought her stock and we're going to keep doing that because
everybody's wondering what stock does.
Oh God. Okay.
Stock tips from the
yes.
medium.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty good. Anyways, so we bought her stock and that'll accumulate throughout her life and it gives her a little sense of financial stability in the future. And I wish we'd done that for our girls. We did it with their college funds.
We did that at 529, which is a great thing to do. And and that's really a big way they got through college is that they had that leg up.
And we know all the toys go away, all the clothes go away, all of the things that you feel like you know, the little Corvettes and stuff they give them now, and little Mercedes that you can drive around. It's a status symbol. Got it. I'm sure in the future they'd be like, wow, I'd rather have the 50 grand that the stocks would have built up to. Right. But sure, yeah, that was a cute car. Thanks for the picture. I don't remember it. So be smart moving forward. We're in Capricorn right now. Look at your finances. Decide what you want that to look like in 2026 and long term. Mm-hmm. So we're really taking inventory of our lives and playing it smart and deciding what's going to work long term beyond 2026. But 2026 does have a tone where you're setting the tone for the next 9 years of your life. So we're starting a new 9-year cycle with 2026.
And people in our life that we know, and myself, and I think you've been feeling this way in the last week, really, this time between Christmas and New Year's, people have gotten very introspective, and they're really tearing themselves apart and getting kind of blue, getting kind of down. Don't get down. I mean,
people usually get blue in Capricorn. Yeah. It's a depressing energy.
It's part of the cycle. I mean, okay, I can't say don't get blue. You're going to get blue, but just know that this next year, it's going to be, it's going to be what you make it, but my year's going to be great. Your year's going to be great. I think everybody out there, your year can be great too. It just,
I think a lot of people are going to have an excellent year, something they haven't seen in a very long time.
It's there for the taking.
It'll feel foreign.
Yeah.
It'll feel foreign. So we're in 4 weeks of Capricorn right now for all of you who follow astrology or understand energies, and also for those of you who don't. So if you're feeling like you're looking at family issues and people who aren't in your life, or you're feeling sort of abandoned emotionally, that is often what Capricorn can feel like. It's a very practical energy. It's father energy. It's old man energy. So it just feels very, I'm looking for the right word. Flat. It to me, it feels like a flat energy. I mean, there are emotional
ups. Too.
It can be wise for sure, and it's hard work, which is ironic that everyone takes days off in one of the hardest working signs.
And they clean their garage, right?
That's true. You organize your life. That's true.
And Capricorn is ambitious.
It is ambitious, and it loves money. I always said the Monopoly bankers should have been the zodiac symbol for Capricorn, for sure. It makes you think of your dad. So for those of you who are missing your dad's, your granddad's father figures in your life, Capricorn does make you miss them and think about them, and even their passing and their funeral. So if you've had an emotional deep dive lately on that, I have. Just know the timing is right in Capricorn to process those emotions and sort them out and make sense of it. And also it helps us decide what we want our life to look like, maybe as opposed to different than how dad did it, or maybe you want it exactly the same, but it's about deciding what you want it to look like. So Capricorn can make you feel a little wah-wah about things, because Capricorn can make you feel a little hopeless sometimes.
Unless you're a Capricorn, then you feel great.
I've been talking to Capricorns lately. They're not too happy either, and we're in a 9-year on top of it. So that's making it worse.
I only know one Capricorn. Maybe I should reach out to him and say, hey, how you doing, bud?
Well, both of my parents were Capricorn. I know Capricorn.
You know Capricorn.
And happy birthday to my friend Tammy Fellows out there.
I guess her birthday. Do know Tammy.
Her birthday is tomorrow when this airs. So
happy birthday, Tammy.
You know it. So, but use Capricorn to your advantage. If you're Cancer aspected, you're being opposed for 4 weeks right now. So I just want you to know, if you're feeling emotionally abandoned or spiraling emotionally, unfortunately, that's what it makes you do and go through. It forces you to be introspective of your life, the decisions you've made, your friendships, the betrayals in your friendships. You're seeing them clearly now for who they are in your life. So for all of my little moon children out there, like our daughter, this is par for the course of what an opposition can look like.
Right. I was going to say the people that I know are having a hard time are the Cancer aspected people. And I guess Capricorn probably too. You get both sides.
Mm-hmm. So an opposition 6 months across from your birthday.
Your unbirthday.
That's your anti-birthday. So that's how you determine your opposition. You're the opposite end of the same energy. There's a similar thread, but you go about everything completely different. So where Capricorn utilizes people in their life to further their agenda, Cancer is an emotional being that uses emotional relationships, family relationships to help them. So kind of similar, but they go about it differently. You can be a Cancer and be more Capricorn-like and vice versa. And people always are shocked by that. But you can feel more like that other sign because it is the other end of you and you may pull more of it. So I always find that interesting. Anywho, so why don't we go into our first color?
Well, sure. We were all chatting away when we got through half our show.
Hi, Allison. My name is Kayla. I'm 36 years old, a Taurus and lover from Northern Virginia. Thank you for taking my call. I first learned of you on a reality show called The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You first started as a guest there, and I must say you were an amazing special guest. I find myself drawn to you recently, and the spirit world since the passing of my mother. She died a couple months ago. I don't know what I need or want, but I do feel a void in my heart. I started binging on a bunch of your podcast episodes and found a lot of comfort, so thank you. Anyways, I guess I'm seeking advice. I feel lost with my feelings. I mostly keep wondering if my mother is okay or at peace. My religion, my beliefs, my heart, soul, mind, and might tell me that she's okay. I started writing a journal, writing messages to her, lighting a candle, even saying a prayer, in hopes that she would visit me in my dreams. As you mentioned, the recently deceased are finding or adjusting to their new ways of communicating with us. I have had a few profound moments, mostly when listening to music. However, I want to see her. I want to touch her. I want to talk to her. I want to tell her that I'm okay. I want her to tell me that she's okay. I guess I just want a little reassurance, Allison. I pray for forgiveness for doubting any peace she may have. I don't want to cause any spiritual disturbances in the afterlife for her. Anyways, thanks again for taking my message. I hope with the new year around the corner brings love, health, wealth, and cheer and comfort to you and yours. Oh, and congratulations on your new baby granddaughter. Thanks again. Ciao.
Kayla's so sweet. Thank you. That's really thoughtful of you to say.
She's very thoughtful, I thought.
And articulate.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to play Kayla's, I want to answer her question, but I think it'll help a lot of other people too. The person who is closest to the deceased is often the one that is the last one to get the signs because they're blocked by pain. When there's a part of you still waiting for them to walk through the door that can't fully accept, you know they're gone, but there's part of you that needs them so deeply, so badly that part of you holds on to this is a mistake, that they're still here because you don't know how to function with them not in your life. And for Kayla, obviously she and her mother were very close and she's having trouble connecting with her. First of all, Kayla, your mother would be extremely proud of you. You're not disturbing her peace in any way. If anything, she's trying to get through to you to soothe you so that you don't hurt. So don't worry about disturbing her peace. She can feel what you feel. She sees what you see. She can experience the world through you. She also knows your heart. She knows what's on it, what's in it, and how hard this is for you. It's not quite as hard for them. The only reason it's difficult for them is because they see us suffer. but that doesn't mean we can pretend not to suffer to, give them that peace in not worrying about us. That's not possible. We're human beings. We must feel, we must process the pain and the loss. So connecting with your mom is going to be the easiest at bedtime, where you can touch her, you can see her, you can have that contact with her. When you go to bed tonight, put up a picture of your mother that you're drawn to. It's usually one when their children are small, when they got married, when they fell in love, whatever their heaven on earth was, and you'll have a sense of what that is. When you put the picture next to your bed at bedtime, think of all the happy times with your mother. Think of her laugh. Think of her voice. Think of the birthday parties she gave you, how much she loved you, what it felt like to be hugged by her taking care of you when you were sick, anything that brings you comfort. And then just smile and say, Mom, I'm ready for a visit. And go to sleep and let her come through to you. And do that every night. Your energy will start adjusting to the other side, to the point of her being able to access you. So I hope that will help you to connect with your mother. And I guarantee you she wants to connect with you as well. It's not our fault that it takes so long. It took me 4 years to be able to see my own dad. I had to have another medium bring him through because I was too emotionally torn up inside. So don't feel like you're doing something wrong. You're not. It's just being human and being a child and missing them so much. Often that pain can block them from coming through, because if we were to see them in a dream, it means they're really gone. That's where the blockage is. So does that make sense?
No, that makes a lot of sense. And you've said that, and we try to prepare people when they call in to get a reading. We talk to them before the reading, just so you're ready to know what to expect. And part of it is to see if the person's gone through the stages of grief and can really accept that they're going to talk to the person they want to talk to. Because acceptance is really, really much harder than people think it is. It's like, no, I know they died. It's like, wow.
It's like in your head you do, but in your heart you don't. Heart,
right. And it's been over 30 years since my dad passed, and still some days I have a hard time accepting it. It's like, no, he's right there. And part of it's confusing because your heart feels that they're there. Mm-hmm. So they're there. And then your head says, no, they're not actually. Like they are actually, but not in the physical world. So it takes time. Grief is complicated and grief is messy, and there's only one way through it, and that's to experience it. And I think that's...
Yeah, you've got to actually willingly put your shoulder into it and move through that wall of pain. It's the only way to come out on the other side connected to them. Mm-hmm. And that's extremely important. And it takes time. And people don't like to hear that. We all want to fast track to a solution. Mm-hmm. We want it now. And I understand that desire, need, or even out of desperation, because you can't feel the pain anymore. Like you just can't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. And I remember feeling that way when my dad died. And Frank Sinatra's songs still send me, So just if you're out there missing a parent right now during the holidays, just know they're sitting right beside you, probably much younger than you are, saying, remember what I taught you. Remember the good times. Remember to fully live. Don't squander your days worrying about me when there's nothing to fear for me anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm whole again. You're the one that needs to be pulled back together. You're the one in tatters. Mm-hmm. Let's work on you and finding your own happiness. All right, let's go on.
Hey, Allison and Sophia. My name is Angela, and I am a relatively new subscriber to your podcast. I've recently become aware that life is so much more than I used to believe it. This awareness came about after listening to the Telepathy Tapes podcast, which I highly recommend. The reason for my call today is I recently came across an episode of one of my other favorite podcasts, Heavyweight. The episode is from December 18, 2025, and it is titled Deborah. It is touching, heartbreaking, and at times humorous. It brought to mind your recent episode, Who Would You Spend Forever With? Although Deborah is not my story, it touched me deeply and I felt compelled to share it. I will say I am just a podcast listener and I have no stake in any podcast, but I just really wanted to share these with you. Lastly, I want to thank you so much for your podcast. I appreciate your gift and your willingness to share it with your listeners. Wishing you happy holidays. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Angela. So the reason I played this one is because Sophia's indisposed of right now in her opposition, and she's doing work for us. We were talking about the movie Eternity that we were going to see, and we did see it, and it was delightful. It's so funny because you end up on it felt very Twilight, team Jacob or, you're picking sides on which guy you want her to end up with and why you think that should be the case. And being me was hard to watch it because I could tell what's real in it and what's not because I've seen what happens when they cross and there's two people on the other side.
Right.
But it was very entertaining, well worth watching. Really, really enjoyed the movie Eternity. So, her question when she basically was saying, who do you spend forever with? You go back to the people who were your heaven on earth. Those are the people that were around. You also end up around people who died around the time you were born or before you were born. And you find out what you had in common with them, what traits you may have gotten from them. They spend time with you just letting you know they've been there, that they've watched over you. And even though you didn't know them in order to love them, they've known you your whole life. So those people are there for you. So eternity you spend with the people that your soul chooses to spend eternity with. And you can go back and forth to different parts of your life, your childhood, your adulthood, depending on what you need in order to heal or to become whole again. So I just wanted to give that brief explanation. But go watch Eternity. It was definitely worth seeing. And I had a great time with Sophia having a mommy-daughter movie moment with too much popcorn with tons of butter. And we just had a great time. So it was not overhyped. It was a great movie. And I've seen movies being hyped that are coming out right now that kind of look like they suck. So I just thought I'd put something out there that people could go watch for entertainment while they're on their Christmas, New Year's break.
That's the time to go.
That's worth seeing, and I'm a fierce movie critic. I'm very hard to please. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I'm saying it's worth seeing, it's definitely worth seeing. So if you want to feel something and get caught up in sort of the magic of the afterlife, it's a great flick. Let's move on.
All right.
Hi, my name is Christy, and I listen to your podcast, Allison, and I love it. I had a question. My question was that I had a very, very horrific divorce, and I've never dated anyone since because it was just so horrible. I didn't want to go through that again. I have two wonderful kids, and they really are my whole life and take up my whole life. And I know on your podcast a lot you talk about soulmates and love of your life, and I just wondered, what about people who don't have that, a spouse or partner, a romantic partner? It just didn't work out that way. Is it that your kids or other family members are your soulmates instead? So thank you. Bye.
See ya. So, well, thank you for calling in, Christy. So it's interesting. Not everybody is here karmically for the love of their life story. They didn't sign up for that package in this lifetime. So they're here for other reasons. I've found it interesting that when some women are trying to break karmic cycles, for instance, when men in their lives abandon them or weren't there for them, starting with their father, moving through relationships they've had, often they'll end up having a son and they'll still be looking around for Mr. Right because that's what we know generationally is you got to have the man or you're not going to be happy, which is not true. The other side often will send a son who is your soulmate, who is going to love you unconditionally. So it's supposed to break your karma and achieve your dharmas when you realize that he is enough, that is the man in your life who will love you unconditionally. And it helps to heal that wound. And then once you get to that point, of course, you're going to end up drawing in a relationship, but that's what seems to happen when you evolve. You draw on somebody healthier. But often kids will be born to be that person, just like daughters can be born to people who have mommy issues or issues with abandonment with the women in their family or women who are harsh in your life. You'll draw in that daughter who is empathetic and sweet, and she loves you unconditionally. So unconditional love is an underrated thing because it's easy to say you'll love someone forever, but I think half of the populations of divorces said they'd love that person forever and didn't. So unconditional love is very special and often comes through children, but you can also draw in the soulmate who's your person, the person for you in a romantic relationship. It just depends on what your karmic story is. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
No, it does. And it does seem like generationally, and it might be just due to expectations that some generations have had a higher percentage of marriage than others.
Well, sure. It used to be more for survival. I mean, if you want to go down the historical rabbit hole
that's
on
all
it.
I'm saying. Is it so
resources.
So this is a very pertinent question of today. Mm-hmm. People as a culture, we're at a point that the survival is no longer tied to getting married. So now you can actually even ask the question.
Right.
Where before you didn't have that choice. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I didn't want people to read into it too much. It was more like, we're here. We're getting here. We're figuring it out. Yeah. Doing it all together.
Well, women have time and the luxury of the resources to be able to step back and say, do I really feel that way about you? Right. And
that's super healthy.
It sent the males into tailspins because they're not guaranteed a woman anymore who has to stay with them. They have to earn her. So it's shifted the dynamics in relationships, mm-hmm. the power dynamics. And I think it's good on one hand and it's bad on the other because people, everybody's sort of holding out for perfection now. And
that has to do with online dating. That's a scourge.
Also people not drinking as much as they used to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, drinking.
Cutting down the numbers, smoking pot can lead to some forms of being sterile. So there's all kinds of factors right now. I feel lucky that we had a grandchild. We got I think we won the lottery in the family circumstances. Yeah. So soulmates can come in all forms. And I find that to be important because you are sent what you need in the healing. So if you've had a difficult first part of your life and then the next part of your life, you got everything you ever needed or wanted, that is a big indication that you did evolve and you did break your karma. And I'm happy for you. And we're going into a new year. So a lot of people are going to draw in that person in 2026.
True.
1 years are notorious for sending somebody your way that's really pivotal in your life. New friendships, it will be friendships forever. Babies are going to be born in 2026. Pregnancies, babies, marriages, engagements. You're going to see this huge shift to building and people building lives.
And I was reading it's going to be like mid-April when that really kicks into gear. So don't get too impatient if that first quarter you're just like, they promised me this was going to happen. It's like
it's the blowback from 2025
it's
still
a few months
unfolding.
To shake that off, and then give it 3 months.
Let's go to the next caller.
All right.
Hi, Allison. This is Chen Mooney. I had DM'd you on Instagram and was had a question. I had spoke to a medium, I would probably say almost 10 years ago. I was dealing through a difficult time, through a breakup, and it was really dark for me. I had a friend who had a medium that he's like, maybe you can speak with them. Maybe they can like help you with whatever you're going through. I think through those 10 years of being naive, now that I look back, a lot of things stood out to me. Even warning signs and red flags through friends that may mention stuff that maybe this wasn't a safe route to help myself through this difficult time. And as soon as I stopped speaking with that person, the medium, really unexplainable things happen really badly. I'm just concerned if there was possible witchcraft or something that I was being naive to. I'm really concerned about my present life and what's going on and going forward. I'm so sorry for the long message. I was just hoping there was maybe some help or guidance through this situation. When I finished speaking with the medium, or stopped talking to him and cutting him off, he did mention a few things to me that were going to be outcomes. And I just feel like I made a really bad decision through desperation and being naive. I'm just hoping for maybe a little bit of help through this.
So I couldn't understand her name. Apologize. I wanted to answer this because a lot of my clients have mentioned this before, and I understand what it is. First of all, anybody, if you contact me on Instagram, and I don't know if this is what she's preluding to, but I've seen people get conned. I don't do readings. I don't DM you for readings. I don't do any of that on social media. You have to go to my website to sign up for readings. That is the only place you can go to get readings.
And then it's a phone call. You schedule over the phone.
Right.
Yeah.
So if she thinks she DM'd me, if she sent me something, I may not have read it, but if she thinks she had a reading via DM, that didn't happen. Not with me. You have to be very careful about the mediums that you go to, and a lot of it breaks down to that some people who are spiritualists or in that realm professionally, there are good and there are bad. There are some that tread in the dark that they do dark witchcraft. It's and they do cast spells, and they do often they can con the clients. You say all this bad stuff's going to happen to you unless you leave like $3,000 and I'll get rid of it for you. And so, I mean, they have different methods. I wrote about this 20 years ago because it's just such a con. Yeah. So you have to be very careful about who you go to and look at your friends. Sometimes friends give really bad advice. So really, search around and spend the time to find legitimate people if you're ever going into this realm, which is another reason I like doing my show, because I won't refer anyone to anybody that I think would ever be a negative experience for them or do anything to intentionally hurt them. Now, the medium sounds like they tread in darkness. I didn't hear anything good coming out for her. And when they're always telling you it's doom and gloom, and it doesn't mean that bad can't be being in your future of what they see, but there should be a lot of good things and positive things that are also in your future, or why those things need to happen for your evolution. There should be a bigger explanation around it. That makes sense. So the fact that she's saying it like that makes me, it causes me pause. Around that medium. So if a spell was cast or anything along those lines, you can go to grannymagic.com, and Margaret Jameson knows how to do spell reversals, and I highly recommend it. Okay, so go to grannymagic.com. She does spell reversals. She's the real deal. She's a light worker. She doesn't do anything dark. So Margaret Jameson is who I wholeheartedly trust. And she helped me with a situation once where we needed to also do a spell reversal against somebody who has dark and nefarious intent, and that can be jealousy or whatever.
Yeah.
It just helps you to clear the air around you so that isn't in your space and in your energy and tripping you up in life. That's all it is. And Margaret, she's very reasonable in her fee. It's nothing that's gonna break the bank, but when you've got some bad juju going on around you, I guess you wouldn't even care. You're like, just make it go away.
Right.
So you have to be very careful with which psychic mediums you go to and what their reputation is and their style. You want to make sure it's somebody that you can align your energy with. So there's a lot of people in the realm that are light workers that deal in your highest and best good, that are only in it to help guide people, to help heal wounds and to advise. And then there are people that are in it as a power trip or out of ego, or, there's different motives for it, but it's just, they're a little delusional and a little nuts, honestly. So there is some dark magic out there as well. So be careful with who you go to. I hope that helps her to know what resource to use, at least to be able to guide her.
good
Margaret is amazing, and she also does tarot and can help you in life advising and your path moving forward. Don't go to somebody that you're not familiar with, and be careful of those little shops in those places that are tourist traps. They tend to not be great resources. So let's go on to the next.
Okay.
Hi, Allison. My name is Judy. I'm from New Jersey. It's been a rough year. My husband just passed on Thanksgiving after being sick and in the hospital and rehabs for 7 months. He also was not healthy before then for many years due to heart attacks and a heart transplant and other various things. My kids are having a hard time. But I wanted to ask you, I had, I believe, a sign from him, the same sign I had when my dad and my mom passed 25 years ago and 5 years ago. I'm home and the TV goes on by itself. And for my mom and dad, I was home alone. But for my husband, my developmentally disabled son was with me, and he's the one that told me that the TV went on in Dad's room. And it was on a Naturescape channel with very relaxing music. So my question is, why do I get the same sign from all my loved ones? I definitely know it's a sign because it couldn't be too coincidental. But so I'm just trying to figure out how to move on after, taking care of him for so long and trying to get my kids to move on. Thank you.
Well, Judy, I'm very sorry for your loss and all of your challenges in life. Losing a partner, soul crushing. So the sign of the TV going on and off, and that was the sign respectively with her parents that they gave. The way I would interpret that is her parents saying, we have him, we're around him, because you already know that to be their sign. So they're sending that message so that she understands that he's around them, that he's okay, that he's whole, that she doesn't have to worry about him. The naturescapes and the relaxation that was in the music that was sent to her, I think, is them trying to give her a glimpse into what the other side is for him.
Sure.
You know, the calmness, the beauty that's around him is what they're trying to convey through the medium of television. TVs, radios, any electronics are very easy for the dead to manipulate because our spirit is electrical energy as well. So they're able to manipulate any electronics, and they do it often. So I'm not surprised to hear that about the TV, and that the TV went on in her husband's room.
Yeah, that was the more profound thing. I think,
conveying the sign that he's here. He's well, he's alive, is what they're trying to tell her.
Sure. Well, and her parents have figured out well, we would call it a life hack. I guess they'd call it
a life hack. I love it.
How to turn on the TV. So of course they're gonna, help him out, right?
Well,
and she would recognize it as a sign. Other people might think, "Oh, my TV's broken," but she's like, "No, this is real."
She knows.
She knows,
and they know she knows. So also they've been there longer, so they know how to manipulate electricity better. It's kind of like in the movie Ghost, where the kind of creepy dude in the trench coat on the subway is trying to teach Patrick Swayze how to move things with his emotions. So it's a similar situation here where...
I'm glad you said Ghost and not Poltergeist, because that's a whole different kind of TV.
No, yeah. So here, this is where they're trying to teach him something, but also conveying it so that she knows they're all together.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here, Joe. Happy New Year. I mean, I'll be with you. And Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in next week for a fresh episode of The Dead Life. I'm Allison Dubois. This is The Dead Life. And to all of my believers out there, don't stop believing. See you in 2026.
Join us next week on The Dead Life. And don't forget to subscribe now to get notified of every new episode.